Alright, so this is lesson 17 of Python for data analysis. And as usual, we're going to go to the GitHub page, click on lessons, go down to lesson 17, and click on that raw link, copy the URL, open up terminal, go to the SAO209 lessons folder, and then either do curl-O or wget in that link. Downloaded. So now we're going to source activate Python 3 and launch Jupyter Notebook. Okay, and then go down and click on lesson 17. Okay. So lesson 17, we're going to talk about statistics packages today. And in fact, let's just call it statistics. So there is a link here for a reading, but it's not. I don't think everything's covered there. So it's a good resource, but you're going to have to kind of seek out your own resources for statistics for some of these things. But we'll cover the code for a lot of things you might want to do with statistics in Python in this lesson. And then for some of the underlying theory, this is no substitute for a statistics course or for some more detailed study of the underlying math and statistics. So we're going to talk about some basic statistics you can do with pandas. We'll talk about regression analysis and outliers, tests of independence, analysis of variance, or ANOVA, machine learning, which was a request of several of you. And then if we have time, we'll do some microbiome stuff. I'm not sure. I had some issues with installing the microbiome package, which was Scikit-Bio, on my environment, and I wasn't sure what was going on, so I'm going to save that for the end, and if we have time, we can try to get that working. So for today, however, we will need to install a couple extra packages that you don't have yet. So what we can do is go back to this Home tab, click on New Terminal, and this is going to be a terminal inside the current Conda environment. If we want to check that, we can do conda env list, and it will list our current environments, and we'll see a star next to Python 3. So if you have a little parentheses thing that says Python 3, then you know you're in your Python 3 environment. But my terminal doesn't show me that, so I'm just double checking. Okay, so what we want to do is conda install Scikit-Learn. This is for the machine learning package Scikit-Learn. So we're going to type that. And I should already have it, so we'll just say already satisfied. But for you guys, all right, I'll do it, but I'm worried. Hopefully it doesn't mess up. In fact, I'm just going to say no because I already have it installed, and well, maybe I better. That was on my other computer. So anyway, go ahead and install it. I will roll the dice here and install it, and hopefully it doesn't break my installation. Should be fine. And then we also want this package called Outlier Utils that we're going to use to look for outliers. And this is a package that's available using pip. So we're going to do pip install Outlier Utils. That's an underscore, not a dash. And now when we can type conda list. It'll list all the packages And we can see, for example, that Outlier Utils here was installed with pip instead of with conda. So
Can you install it in our normal terminal?
you can install it in your normal terminal, but you have to make sure that you've activated the conda environment in that session. So, like what we did was we opened a terminal and we activated the environment. But if you right now, unless you use like the screen command, for example, you can access a new prompt. But right now we don't have a prompt, so we need to open up a new tab, and so we'd have to type source activate Python 3 again, and then do the installation. Otherwise, it will install to your base environment, and we don't really want that because we want it to be in this environment only. Yeah. So now we should be able to import all the required packages. So we're going to use several things today: Pandas, NumPy, SciPy, this Outliers package that we just installed, Scikit-Learn, which is Scikit-Learn, Matplotlib, Seabourn, and then the Matplotlib inline. So cross our fingers that it works. Okay. Did anyone not work? Okay. And now we're going to also set up some Pandas and Seabourn options. So we're going to set the max number of rows. With Pandas data frames, we're going to kind of just set the Seabourn's defaults. We're going to use a notebook context and a colorblind palette. Okay, so we're now ready to go. So first of all, basic statistics with Pandas. So Pandas provides several methods for computing descriptive statistics and other operations on either series, data frames, or panel objects. We haven't really touched on panels. Basically, panels are just multi-dimensional data frames. So think of the same data frame stacked on top of each other, say with different time points. Mostly we've worked with series and data frames. Most of these statistical...
I can help you search the web for series and...
Thank you, Siri. I didn't say Siri, I said series. Okay. She's there when we need her, or when we don't. So most of these will produce a lower dimensional result, like sum, mean, quantile. These will give one number for a whole series of data. But some of them will produce like an aggregate result, like cumulative sum or cumulative product. And so you can specify the axis, which will say which. For series, you don't need to provide the axis, but for data frame or panel, you need to provide which, you want rows or columns that you want to compute over. So we have things like count, sum, mean absolute deviation, median, etc., etc. There's a lot listed here. So be aware that those are available. Oftentimes it's kind of expected. So there's one more thing we need to do before we can do this first example, is we need to download this data set. So again, we're going to put this in the data folder, which is in the same folder as where we are now, but just, or same level as where we are now, but in the data folder, not the lessons folder. So what we're going to do, go back to GitHub, go to lessons, back to the main level, data. We want data. And this is La Jolla precip monthly, not daily. So daily is the one you'll use for your homework. The monthly is the one we're using today. And we click on raw, and we can download that. So I can use this other terminal window that I opened, so I can go to SIO 209. Instead of lessons, I'm going to go to data, and then do wget that file. So we can see we've got a bunch of files here, including the monthly precipitation.